welcome back to the Wake Your Dumbass Up Morning Show, brought to you by BigBrainUniversity.com. Go ahead and check that website out if you're first time here. It's been a minute since I've recorded, so where to even begin? I didn't even look how long it's been the last time I've recorded. I have a list of topics I'd like to talk about on these infamous legendary drives to work, where my thoughts are so juicy and good and elevated that I'm obligated to share them with the rest of you. So that's what we're doing here. Grab your coffee and legal weeds, teas, biscuits, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Oh, so, good God, what is going on in the world? Some soccer tournaments? What was happening the last time we talked? Let me think a moment. I don't think there were so many leaves, and it was probably sometime before planting season. But now we got crops growing everywhere. It's been very friggin' humid this summer in the Midwest. Did not quite expect that, so I've had to make some adjustments. Been living in the new place for just about a year now. Finally getting all the feng shui, getting the vibe, getting all that in place. What's been honestly the most kind of groundbreaking thing for me has been learning a bit more about the guitar and music theory. Now, why is this relevant to life? Why would it be relevant to your life? Well, it's actually kind of very interesting. Hear me out. I've been playing guitar for over 20 years. But nobody, nor myself, I don't even remember seeing them in all these guitar books that my grandpa would give me, really mentioned anything about triads. Triads are just 3 chords, 3 of the strings on a guitar being played at one time to make a chord. That's what a triad is. Now you might be like, well, there's so many ways that you could put 3 strings together. Well, it's actually broken down for you. There's major triads and minor triads. The major triads are the ones that sound good. The minor ones are the ones that sound sometimes good, but they're just like a slightly bit off. You know, they're like la, and then the minor ones are like la. You know, they're just, and in music, it's called like your flats and minors. And your majors are just your majors, like your major full chord, A, B, C, D, F, G. So there's only 7 of these notes, which means you can only have 7 chords. So this triads, this system of triads that is mapped all over the guitar, is literally an actual map. It's a map. There's a map for the guitar. There's a map for it. It's a fucking map. Nobody ever was like, hey kid, here's the map. Here's the map. Nowadays you can go online and you can just find a guitar chart that's like 4 foot long, 3 foot tall. Put it on your wall and you have the map to everything. It's actually insane, and it kind of ruins music. It kind of ruins it on one side, because you realize that all of the music that you've been listening to is total crap. Total crap. Okay, maybe not all of it. Let's stick in context here. But then on the other side of it, you're like, hold on. I now have the map. I now have the map. Why is this completely relevant and parallel to what we've done at Big Brain University? This whole expanding our perception, expanding our perspective based on the understanding of the difference between perspective and perception. How do we actually, navigate perspective? Well, it's knowledge of the self. Okay, so knowledge of the guitar has a map. There's a map, so you have knowledge of the guitar. It's mapped. You don't have to really figure much out on your own other than memorizing the shapes of these triads. So the first 3 strings, there's only 3 major shapes, or 3 shapes for the majors, right? Your major side of things. There's 3 for the minor. There's like an inverse for each one. So it's like really a handful or a couple of handfuls of 3 fingers and different shapes, and you can unlock everything you want to do on the guitar. And more. With only triads. Only these triads. That's all it takes. And you have a full map. Now you can go on further, of course, and learn all of the full chords and blah, blah, blah. But everything else besides triads is blah, blah, blah. People might say that's my opinion. But if I was to use 25, 30 years of playing the guitar, knowledge of that, experience of that, combined with what I now know, and I was to teach somebody else to play the guitar, I would say, don't learn anything except these triads. Just learn these triads. That's it. That's all I want you to do for now. Just learn these triads. Start on the first 3 strings. Learn the first 3 different shapes. Guess what? The next 3 strings are the same 3 shapes. So you already have the first 4 strings completely unlocked. The other shapes are such simple changes and variations that it'd probably only take you a day now to figure out and memorize the shapes. Now, what it might take somebody longer is to translate that finger dexterity and also your finger calluses, because when you're first playing the guitar, it hurts. It hurts your fingers. So you have to build up resistance to that over time. And over time, you don't really even feel it until you play for a very long time. Now again, why does this relate to the self? Knowledge of the self? It's because if you had a map given to you for how your self works, how your thoughts work, how your perspective works, then the entirety of society would be completely different, because our current state of things relies on people being low vibration, fear-driven, brainwashed history, brainwashed religion, brainwashed this, brainwashed that. They're literally taught all the wrong perspectives. So if you had the map, we would have never been fooled. We were given a false map. We were given false deities. We were given shit fucking music. Tom Petty. Now the circle of fifths is the next thing that I would teach somebody about the guitar. Okay, so you have all these triads, right? Now, look at that circle of fifths right there. That's all the notes that you can play in relation to each other. They're just grouped up. They're grouped up. And then you can say, hold on I won't go that far. Like, I won't go into chord progression. But you can just go around the circle of fifths and you can play every Tom Petty song. C, D, E, C, D, G. And then, or it's like how it's grouped up, D, E, G. Like the circle, just go around it and use the next three. Use these three notes. Use those three notes. Use those three notes. And you can just go around the circle of fifths. And that's literally every Tom Petty song I've ever fucking heard. So here people are in the world thinking, oh, Tom Petty's a musical genius. Listen to these songs. They're so good. Oh my God. And music theory, you're like, this is like day 2 music theory. And day 1 was extremely short. All we did was learn triads. Now, for those of you who understand some music theory, you're going to be like, well, yeah, you skipped learning the notes, but everybody already knows the notes. It's A through G. It's just A through G, and your triads, the positions on the neck that you've already learned, yeah, those are the notes. So you already know how to play it on the guitar. Now, if you really want to know, like, where's C, where's G, where's D, well, just figure out what the one fucking string you're on. Just figure out what string you're on. Are you on this string of E? Okay, well, move up to C. Now that might take a moment to learn. Okay, how do the notes go up the fretboard? But guess what? Guess what, guys? There's a map for that. And it's really fucking easy. There's a map for everything. So you learn, okay, where the notes are, how to play the triads, and then you realize that, oh, the triads, you can just move up and down. You just move up and down the fretboard anywhere. Whatever note you want to play, just move it up and down. There you go. If anybody ever tries to teach you, like, you know, this is the A shape, well, no, you're wrong. You play that A shape everywhere on the neck for A, B, C, D, G, E, F. A, B, C, D, G. Oh, man. So, what this actually does, it lets you move around the fretboard and have, like, oh, I want to play this string, and go, okay, well, now you pretty much, you're right in the air. You know, you have 3 different you have all those triads that make the chord sound, the same note sound. So go, you know, you don't even have to move your fingers. You can just go with your 3 fingers on your plucking hand. Like, the options that it opens up, and then you'll understand that a lot of the shapes connect from all strings, so you can go from the bottom string to the top string, all with shapes that are going to sound good. And then you can pretty much just experiment from there. So literally, you're never lost, because you always know how to make a triad shape out of whatever string you're playing, or strings. It's like I'm telling you, it's an unlock for everything. It's like you're given the map to wherever you are, to wherever you want to go. And then when you get there, you have the map again for wherever you are to wherever you want to go. Can you see how this is like directly related to the knowledge of self? If you've read my book, if you've had an awakening, if you've gone through Big Brain University, if you've listened to what Kevin said, National Security Agency, you cannot buy the education we have provided for you at Big Brain University. You cannot buy that. You cannot go and find that at any university in this entire fucking place. You can't. It's not available to the public for purchase. So we're giving you invaluable, rare knowledge of yourself that the NSA has trained their agents with to go be James fucking Bond. It's like a map of the self. knowing, perspective, perception. Like how are things happening here? What are my emotions? Like what's going on? How do I ascend this to heaven and earth type thing? How do I read the fucking Bible? You know, how did the Hebrews write it? Did they write it for it all to be read literally? Or did they write it in layers? Were the Hebrews perhaps educated? Were the Hebrews who wrote the Bible, were they perhaps educated on the mysticisms in the world, the other divine or stories of divinity, you know, of all the other gods and stuff like that, that all the other civilizations that are recorded through the past? So it's like we see this society just being completely misled because every single person, the majority of the people, the end users, the individuals, do not have a map of the self. They don't have the chart for the guitar. So for 25 years I was playing guitar, and now you heard my guitar playing. It wasn't bad. I could play what I wanted to, sort of. But all the time I was having to like play by ear and kind of just go by feeling that I was gonna be where I needed to be, you know, and it was extremely limiting. It was like walking around with a blindfold on. Like it must have been like Beethoven or whoever it was playing the piano, whoever was blind or deaf playing the piano. That must have been tough. But given a map and some sort of reference point, well, the world would be a lot different place. So I think that's all I really wanted to chat about this morning. I have a list of things I want to talk about, so I might make these episodes a little more regular for the time being, until something else in my life leads me to not want to do any more episodes for a little while. So with that being said, catch you all next time.